Today I want to take you for a wild ride through the life and times of none other than Jerry Springer, the undisputed king of daytime television drama. If you think your life is a roller coaster, just wait till you hear about Jerry's journey from a London-born lad to a lawyer-turned-mayor, to a Emmy-winning news anchor, and eventually the host of the most outrageous talk show in television history. So grab some popcorn and a front row seat as we dive into the scandalous, the bizarre, and the downright unforgettable moments that made the Jerry Springer Show a guilty pleasure we couldn't resist. We'll be taking you on a whirlwind tour of Jerry's career, from his early days as a politician to the wild and crazy days of his show. We'll explore some of the most bizarre moments in the show's history and even dive into Jerry's days after the show. And of course, we'll pay our respects to the man himself, who sadly passed away last month. So get ready, because today we're doing an ode to Jerry Springer. So Jerry grew up in Queens, New York, where, like many East Coast intellectuals, he decided, hey, I'll get me a degree in political science. And off he went to Tulane University, followed by Northwestern University for law. Who'd have thought the man behind chair-throwing brawls would have a law degree? But you see, Jerry had big dreams. He wanted to get into politics. He ran for the U.S. House of Representatives in 1970, but life had other plans. 3 days after announcing his candidacy, he was called to active duty at Fort Knox. After that, Jerry found himself serving 5 terms in the Cincinnati City Council and 2 terms as the city's mayor, which ultimately came to an end due to a prostitute incident. You'd think being a gonzo politician would be enough, but not for Jerry. After failing in a bid for governor of Ohio, he decided to switch gears and go into journalism. That's right, the man who made a name for himself with outrageous talk show antics was once an Emmy-winning news anchor and commentator. I guess it just goes to show that even the most serious of careers can lead to the wildest of places. But Jerry didn't stop there. He dipped his toes into the acting pool, appearing in the movie Ringmaster and guest starring on shows like Married with Children and Sabrina the Teenage Witch. From politics to journalism and even a bit of acting, Jerry Springer was always ready to make his mark on the world. Now, let's go back to 1991. Enter the Jerry Springer Show, which didn't start out as the raunchy spectacle we all came to know and love. In fact, they originally wanted him to be the next Phil Donahue. Can you imagine Jerry Springer calmly discussing political issues and societal concerns? Neither can we. But that's exactly what happened when the show first aired in 1991. It took the arrival of Richard Dominic in season 2 for things to start getting wild. It's kind of like a superhero origin story. The show was on the brink of cancellation, and Dominic thought, why not go all out? He took inspiration from the National Enquirer-style tabloids, focusing on ordinary people and their juicy scandals. And thus, the Jerry Springer Show as we know it today was born. The ratings skyrocketed, reaching upwards of 8 million daily viewers. TV Guide even named it the #1 worst show in the history of TV. Talk about a badge of honor. In its heyday, the show was a swirling vortex of chaos, fueled by controversial topics like incest and adultery, profanity, physical fights, and nudity. It was like watching a car crash in slow motion. You couldn't look away. The more outrageous the show became, the more successful it was. This recipe for success was so effective that it even spawned 2 spin-offs, a VH1 documentary series, and a show starring Springer's securities chief, Steve Wilkos. The Jerry Springer Show wasn't without its fair share of criticism, though. Some argued it exploited vulnerable people and perpetuated negative stereotypes. Others claimed it contributed to the decline of civility in society. But let's be honest, we all secretly loved the train wreck that was the Jerry Springer Show. It was the guilty pleasure we couldn't help but indulge in. Despite facing several controversies over the years, including a lawsuit over a guest suicide and criticism from politicians and media watchdogs, the show persisted for an impressive 27 seasons. When it finally came to an end in 2018, we said goodbye to an era of television that reveled in the absurd and the scandalous. The Jerry Springer Show might have been dubbed the worst TV show in history, but it will forever be remembered as a unique and outrageous fixture in American pop culture. If you thought the Jerry Springer Show was just a series of low-key discussions about world events, you're in for a rude awakening. Some of the most memorable moments on the show were so outrageous that they'd make a sailor blush. Like that one time in 1995 when Jerry confronted a racist family, leading to a full-blown fight on stage.
That's the difference. I don't hate you. I feel sorry for you.
Well,
I only hate what you have done to your children.
Come on.
Or when Annabelle Chong appeared on the show declaring she'd slept with 251 men in 10 hours.
This woman had sex with 251 men in 10 hours.
I wonder what it felt like to be number 251. And who could forget baby Zach, the 70-pound infant who captured our hearts and made us question the limits of human biology.
Here is Zach and his parents.
Or that guy who cut off his manhood with garden shears because he was being stalked.
What you're going to hear today is absolutely astonishing.
Meet Earl, a man who cut off his own male organ.
He did it with a pair of garden shears identical to these.
Jerry's sage advice? Wouldn't it have been easier to just change his phone number? Springer really knew how to tackle the tough questions. The show only got wilder as the years went on. In 2001, we met the Spam Man, a canned food fetishist who paved the way for Burrito Girl, Meat Lady, and the Sushi Stripper.
This is wrong. Oh, no.
And let's not forget the legendary episode 3 Pigs and a Trailer, featuring 3 shirtless obese men gorging themselves on junk food, and a prequel to The Biggest Loser if there ever was one.
The only naked man she needs in her life is this.
The Jerry Springer Show has given us some truly bizarre moments, like a man who married a horse and is slowly dying from hepatitis as a result of having interspecies sex.
So on this particular show, we got this guy, Bob, sitting there. I'll say Bob. I don't remember what his name was. Bob, what's going on? That's always my first question. And he says, well, I'm having trouble with the neighbors. What's the problem? Well, they don't like my wife. What's wrong with your wife? No, I don't know. She doesn't make any noise. She doesn't talk to anyone. So this is going nowhere. So I figure, this is boring. I look at the next name on the list, and it says Pixel. Well, let's bring out Pixel. And out comes this horse. Why?
Are you putting it together at this point?
No. I'm thinking that his wife fell off the horse. You don't think, oh, gee, that's his wife. So I'm going, oh, my God, someone check backstage. And then the producers start yelling at me, no, that's his wife.
Or Sandra, the transgendered woman who sawed off her legs after she decided she didn't want them anymore.
The story on today's show could be the most bizarre story we've done in our 15-year history. So 1 year ago, she took a saw just like this. And she cut off, this is true, stop it. She cut off her own legs. Let's meet her. Here's Sandra. Why did you cut your leg off?
I didn't want them. My brain just kept saying get rid of them, so I had to get rid of them.
And who could forget the episode where a hooker's dentures dropped on the floor while fighting with the wife of the man she's sleeping with? It's a teeth-rattling good time. You'd think we'd seen it all, but the surprises kept coming. Episodes like You Slept With My Stripper Sister.
A few weeks ago, your boyfriend and his friends came to the strip club, and we ended up having sex. But, I'm here to tell you that I'm sorry. Like,
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Why the hell would you do this to me again?
Christina, what do you mean again? And at least I'm telling
You
you
had
right
sex
now,
with two of my other boyfriends.
I'm telling you that I'm sorry.
You're nasty.
I'm telling you that I'm sorry.
And married to your dad but want you back.
Well, today I'm here with my husband and my ex-husband, which also happen to be father and son.
Proved that there's no limit to the weird and wonderful world of the Jerry Springer Show. And who could forget the iconic food fights? As Jerry himself said, "I have learned that whenever food is brought out, no one is going to eat it." A true philosopher of our time. Just when you thought Jerry Springer was about to hang up his microphone and call it a day, he made a surprising career pivot that left audiences in awe. After the Jerry Springer Show ended in 2018, NBC Universal swooped in and persuaded him to put that law school education to good use by hosting an arbitration court show. A more grown-up gig, as Jerry would call it. Who knew that the king of daytime drama had a sophisticated side? In 2019, Jerry re-emerged from the ashes of his scandalous talk show to preside over real court cases in the aptly named Judge Jerry. The series premiered with a bang, garnering the highest ratings for a syndicated court show debut in 5 years. Despite the more serious tone of the show, the iconic Jerry, Jerry chant still made an appearance, but only during the warm-up. This wasn't amateur hour. Alas, all good things must come to an end, and Judge Jerry was no exception. After a successful first season, the pandemic put a damper on the courtroom dynamic, making it difficult to maintain the same energy that had initially captivated audiences. Despite being renewed for a third season, the show was ultimately canceled in 2022. As Jerry himself explained to the New York Post, "We were trying to force something that didn't naturally flow." And just like that, Jerry Springer's wild ride in the world of television came to a close, but not without leaving a lasting impact on American culture. At the age of 79 years old, Jerry passed away from pancreatic cancer on April 27, 2023. His death came as a shock to many, especially considering he had mentioned wanting to retire while he was still healthy just a year prior. Little did we know old Jerry had a secret up his sleeve, and it seemed he took it to the grave. The charismatic Springer had a way of leaving a lasting impression even in his final days. Steve Wilkos, a former director of security on the Jerry Springer Show and host of his own talk show, shared an anecdote about a cigar-smoking get-together with Jerry a month before his death. Wilkos recalled Springer's unusual display of affection, a heartfelt embrace, and a confession of love. As they reflected on the good times they shared, Wilkos couldn't help but feel that Jerry was saying goodbye without uttering the words. In a small, private ceremony in Chicago, Springer was laid to rest, surrounded by family and close friends. And just like that, the man who was the embodiment of daytime television drama took his final bow. As we bring our wild journey through Jerry Springer's life to a close, it's clear that his impact on American pop culture cannot be overstated. The man who started as a lawyer and mayor went on to leave an indelible mark on television history with his sensational and often controversial talk show. Whether we loved it or hated it, the Jerry Springer Show will forever be remembered as an outrageous fixture that brought us countless unforgettable moments. Though we've said our final goodbyes to Jerry, his legacy as a unique and larger-than-life figure will live on in the annals of TV history. Here's to you, Jerry. Thanks for the memories, the laughter, and the drama that you brought into our lives.